If you were a Chevy fan in the 1960s, you knew that the fastest cars wore the designation SS. Only the hottest models were allowed out of the factory with Super Sport badges. Well, in 1994, Chevy revived the SS name for a fast, full-size Impala. But unfortunately, that Impala SS is going away next year, along with the rest of GM's big rear-drive cars. But the SS badge is not. And this time, it's a Camaro that gets to strut its stuff.
And it struts courtesy of our friends at Street Legal Performance. Regular Motorweek viewers will remember SLP as the builders of the formidable SLP Firehawk, a free-breathing limited edition Pontiac Firebird. But this time, it's Chevrolet that benefits from SLP's airflow expertise. And in the Camaro Z28 SS, those benefits are substantial and obvious thanks to prominent SS badges on the flanks, a new low-profile wing on the rear deck lid, and this massive air scoop on the composite hood, which leads to a heavily revised intake system on the 5.7-liter V8 engine. Combine more air in with an optional larger diameter stainless steel exhaust going out, and you get more horsepower. 25 horses more than the standard Z28 for a total of 310. Torque is unchanged, a crushing 325 pound-feet, which rockets the Camaro SS to 60 in only 5.5 seconds. The quarter-mile blasts by in 14 seconds flat at 104 miles per hour. Power is everywhere and is helped to the rear wheels by an optional Hurst 6-speed manual shifter and available Torsen limited slip differential. While all four wheels work the pavement courtesy of a revised suspension, optional Bilstein shocks and progressive springs can be added to the Meteor front anti-roll and rear track bars. But convertibles must do with the stock Z28 suspension. Hardtops also wear 17-inch Corvette-style alloy wheels that ZR-rated BF Goodrich Comp T8s provide traction. It's a formidable package, whether the road is straight or curved. The stiffer underpinnings do exact a price and ride quality, but the gains in acceleration and handling more than make up for it. While changes were made outside, the SS interior is standard Camaro, except for a different shifter knob, SS plaque on the center console, and optional floor mats. If you like what SLP has done for the Camaro SS, go to your Chevy dealer and ask for option package R7T. The price will start at $24,119. Our well-optioned test car comes to $27,900, which for this much performance is still a bargain. So Chevy fans, rejoice. The SS lives on, and just like the Super Sport models of the 60s, this new Camaro Z28 SS is both priced and engineered to really move.
Speaking of Super Sport, no other vehicle we've tested recently fits our road test by request better than that one-of-a-kind Chevrolet Impala SS with a 6-speed manual transmission. Why, our phones began to ring off the hook the day after we first showed you that most muscular of all Super Sports last June, with many of you wanting to know how you could buy one. Sadly, we have to tell you that you can't. That Impala was truly a dream machine. But that doesn't mean we can't take another look and think about what should have been.
Here's a car that really nobody, it was a grandfather's car, you know, and it was my dad's car, etc. And here we changed that with some very subtle changes to put a performance engine, tires, wheels on it, and here we dropped the buying age, you know, from the 50s on up down to the 30s and 40s. In fact, I got kids in the 20s, and here they say, boy, we want to drive that car, you know. And what a difference the style and the performance image can make to a vehicle.
That's the man, GM power wizard Jon Moss, and the philosophy that created the coolest big GM car in years, the Chevrolet Impala SS. A car that, with its head-turning monochrome paint scheme, best in sinister jet black, brawny 260 horsepower small block V8 engine, and brilliant combination of brakes, tires, and suspension, proved that GM's biggest platform could deliver big driving fun. So much fun, in fact, that even hardcore sports car fans on our staff had to be pried out of the big bruiser. And one has even taken up permanent residence in our staff parking lot. But while the General has decided that its full-size cars are no longer marketable, Mr. Moss still sees a lot of potential in them. So he built this car, Like the last Chevrolet Impala SS we sampled, this one-off engineering exercise is big, black, and bristling for action. But this SS is different. For a start, there's extra menace under that glistening ebony finish, such as this heavily modified version of the stock 5.7-liter LT1 V8, which now makes 308 horsepower and 334 pound-feet of torque. That's actually more horsepower than the Corvette. The LT1 cylinder heads have been ported and polished, the iron block rebored, cleaned, and the crank balanced, then everything reassembled using the best race engine blueprint techniques. This small block on steroids exhales through a purpose-built stainless steel exhaust system with pipe diameter set at 2.5 inches. The sounds are wonderful. Gear changes are by way of a 6-speed manual, that's right, manual gearbox, pirated not from the Corvette, but from the Camaro Z28. It's a Borg-Warner T56 and required reworking of the transmission tunnel so it would fit. Throws are precise but made for long-armed Americans. And at the end of that reach, the result is, you guessed it, more rip. This big beast stomps from 0 to 60 in 6 seconds flat, 2 seconds faster than a stock SS. Moss installed a torque arm to prevent axle windup. The quarter-mile roars by in an equally brief 14.7 seconds at 98 miles per hour. No other 4,200-pound family sedan we know can do that. With its massive stump-pulling torque, this Impala from hell is more fun to launch than an F-16. And while not even Mr. Moss will claim that this Impala turns like an F-16, it certainly outhandles the already impressive standard car. That's thanks to the addition of adjustable Bilstein shocks at both ends. They refined the SS's already stout suspension that comes direct from the Caprice Police package. Tires may look like the stock SS's 50 Series 17-inchers, but we know their special compound is unusually tacky. They turned this big boulevard cruiser into a car that's much more at home on mountain switchbacks without giving it the ride qualities of an earth mover. Very impressive. As were the anti-lock-equipped four-wheel disc brakes, averaging 112-foot stopping distances. The only change here was a more aggressive compound for the pads. All this mechanical mayhem must have worn out those adventuresome GM engineers. This Impala's interior is pretty much stock. Only the manual shifter and a small tachometer attached to the gauge cluster hint at anything unusual. Otherwise, it's business as usual. The seats are still comfortable, but the lack of lateral support that we complained of before is even more pronounced with the increased performance. Otherwise, we have no real complaints. The back seat is still huge, fit for a family outing to nowhere fast. Ditto the massive 20.4 cubic foot trunk. This is a big reason police and cabbies love these cars. And we'll say little about fuel economy, although even with plenty of burnouts, we still manage to keep it in double digits. How could we resist? And a car that was so obviously built for good old hot rod fun. And a car that, unfortunately, will never see production. Nor will, even more unfortunately, the even hairier 545 horsepower big block version of the Impala SS that Jon Moss recently completed. So we'll enjoy this one-of-a-kind Impala SS while we can. And someday look back on a time when General Motors built the biggest, baddest cars in town.
If you love trucks, then our friends at Krause Publications have just the book for you. Moving the Goods traces the history of trucking in America from 1903 to 1994. Author Ron Kowalski primarily tells the story with over 400 period photographs of semis, moving vans, dumps, tankers, sedan deliveries, express trucks, and more. There are chapters on restored vintage trucks, Depression-era trucks, and big rigs in the movies. We highly recommend it. Join us next week for more Motorweek, when we'll test Lamborghini's outrageous Diablo VT and announce the winners of our 1996 Driver's Choice Awards. I'm John Davis. We'll see you then.
To order a video cassette of this program, call 1-800-422-0064 or send $29.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling to Motorweek, Post Office Box 55742, Indianapolis, Indiana 46205.